Good afternoon, everybody. This is Ellis Mass. I'm just bringing you a quick thought of the day here, a very brief video. I wanted to share with you a thought that I've been talking about a few times today, actually, with a couple different companies. And I'm taking it from this book that some of you may be familiar with, Good to Great, fantastic book by Jim Collins. I've had it for years, and I pull from this book a lot. There's a specific concept in this book that I'm thinking about now that's really, really relevant in these kind of uncertain days as we're dealing with an uncertain fallout from coronavirus. We know the impact on our business is going to be significant. The impact on our communities and our society is going to be significant. We just don't know how significant. A lot of uncertainty out there. We're hearing a wide range of projections and predictions in terms of how this could really impact us over the long haul. Some of them are really, really kind of very doom and gloom and very worst case scenario. And others are way more optimistic. And I've read, I'm still reading, although this has changed a lot over the past few days, that there are some people that are really kind of downplaying any risk or threat, saying it's really overblown and it's not as bad as it's being made out to be. Both of those approaches are missing the mark to some degree. And there's a specific concept in this book, Good to Great, called the Stockdale Paradox. This is named after Admiral James Stockdale, a war hero, a contemporary, I guess, in a way, of John McCain. Also spent some time in the Hanoi Hilton, a prisoner of war camp in Vietnam. And Stockdale came up with this philosophy that's been later called the Stockdale Paradox, that basically says you have to kind of have two things in your mind at the same time. I'm going to read them word for word so that I don't mess it up. You, on the one hand, have to retain faith that you will prevail in the end, regardless of the difficulties, and at the same time, confront the most brutal facts of your current reality, wherever they may be. And in the case of the Hanoi Hilton, this prisoner of war camp, there were a number of people who were really optimistic and would continually say things like, "Oh, we're going to be out of here by Christmas," and that's how they kind of kept themselves psyched up. Stockdale was like, "No, I mean, let's be realistic. We're not getting out of here by Christmas. There's no way. The reality of what we're seeing and what we're experiencing, there's no way that's going to happen." That was confronting some brutal facts about his reality. He was just a little bit more grounded than some of those people. They didn't all make it. Other people were way too doom and gloom and just couldn't kind of muster the strength and the resolve to carry on. They thought it was hopeless. They were mired in despair. But he had an unshakable faith that he was going to get through the experience. He would survive, and that became his goal, his task. As managers, and we use this book, I use this book all the time, even in times that aren't crisis level, kind of like what we're experiencing right now with COVID-19. But even in kind of a normal non-crisis time, it's important that we have both of those perspectives, that we acknowledge the brutal facts, no matter how brutal they may be, that we are realistic about them. But by the same time, by the same token, retain an unshakable faith that we're going to prevail, we're going to get through this. I'm going to ask you to think about that with respect to your business, to your family, to your community, with respect to coronavirus, COVID-19. Look, let's confront brutal reality. We see these statistics getting updated every day, multiple times a day. We see more closures taking place. We see more economic projections. We see the stock market up and down and up and down, and people are really, really reacting to some of this stuff. A lot of this is emotional, but we do need to recognize, hey, the reality that things are going to be impacted. We need to take action in order to resolve that. By the same token, in order for us all to get through this and pull together as a community and as leaders, as business leaders, we also have to have that unshakable faith in ourselves, our businesses, that we're going to be strong enough to get through this somehow. It may take a Herculean effort to make sure that we're doing all the right things. It may take more than just ourselves. We may have to rely on each other more than we have in the past. Sometimes it really does take a village. Sometimes it is going to take a stimulus package from the government and any number of other things, but we've got to retain that unshakable faith that we will get through this. That's part of how we stay focused, grounded, and stay really keenly aware of the actions that we need to take today, tomorrow, every day, in order to keep this thing moving and keep ourselves moving in the right direction. Helping ourselves by helping the customers in the marketplace that we serve, helping the communities around us, and in that way, we will help ourselves as well. So I'm going to remind you, as I always do, to make the choice. Whatever you're going to be outstanding. Keep going, keep strong. We will get through this. We will prevail.